I shall be so relieved to get a letter from you. I can't help feeling a bit anxious, dear. I know how you must have felt, darling, when you did not get my letters for so long. The time seems so dull and weary without any news of you. If only this war was over, dear, and we were together again. It will be one day, I suppose. Imagine what it would have been like to date decades ago. It wasn't even called dating, it was courting. How official does that sound? My Nan tells me stories of how her and my pop would exchange letters. They would go to the local dance and would often go many days without seeing or hearing from each other. And that was normal. Love letters are worth their weight in gold. How much gold? $876,000 to be exact. That's how much Leonard Cohen's love letters to his girlfriend sold for. But love letters have more value than just monetary. Love letters are a beautiful, meaningful, lasting way to express how you feel. But nowadays, we'd rather send a text. A text message takes seconds to send and only minutes to forget about. But a love letter takes time, hours of thoughts and emotions. A love letter isn't something you forget about so easily. Yet this precious art has been forgotten. Through Elizabeth L. Fox's book, We Are Going to Be Lucky, Emily Chitkins to fiancé Private William Martin from the Imperial War Museum, articles from the Huffington Post, the Daily Femme, and Luxury Launches, and the poem Miss You by Unknown. A program, The Lost Art of Love Letters. In May 1943, when World War II was raging thousands of miles away, Lenny and Diana Miller, a young couple from Brooklyn, embarked on a remarkable daily correspondence that would last until 1946. They began writing to each other as Lenny entered his year of basic training for the infantry, and they continued through his shipment to Europe in June of 1944, and his service in England, France, Belgium, Holland, and Germany. There used to be a time when letters were the only form of communication. You couldn't just say a quick, I love you via text or phone call. No, life was precious. Life was different. And you never knew if the person you loved would die tomorrow. Dearest beloved, I am sitting down to do the thing I look forward to do all day. Write to my beloved. The best part of my everyday, my sweetheart, is when I read your letter and write to you. Dearest, I am writing, my greatest pleasure to my dove. Darling, during the last 2 days of war, we have lived up to the reputation of being wholly unpredictable. Anything can happen and usually will. I miss you in the morning, dear, when all the world is new. I know the day can bring no joy, because it brings not you. I find it very hard to get up at 6 a.m. every morning. I think of how much I hate Hitler and fascism, and how hard I want to work to destroy it, so that I can live with my husband again, and together we can raise a family in a free America. Imagine having to wait days, weeks, or even months to hear back from a loved one. Dear Lee, all is well with me. No mail from you. How are you, darling? Dearest, there was no letter from you today. I don't quite understand the reason. Still no mail today, the 5th day. It's very hard when there is no mail. I can imagine how you felt for the 7 weeks when you didn't have any from me. Why is it so different to receive a love letter than a love text? In my opinion, it's the romance. Darling Diana, it's been a long time since I've written you a plain, ordinary love letter. But right now, here goes one to you. Beloved. Beloved Diana, I wish every soldier could have a sweetheart like you to carry in his heart always. Must kiss you so long now, because I'm due on guard in 5 minutes. Even more so now that writing letters is not something that is common. The fact that someone would take the time to sit down and write a letter is even more meaningful than the actual content. Lenny, you wrote that your stomach acted up. How do you feel now? Asking you that in this letter is a little silly, because you won't get it for a few more weeks. But as you can well imagine, I am concerned. I miss the well-loved voice of you, your tender smile for me, the charm of you, the joy of your unfailing sympathy. Lenny, your phone call this morning still has me smiling every few minutes. How I love to hear your voice. Sleep well tonight, and my arms will be around you. And my love will be with you. Diana, if all is well with you, all is well. You can't keep a box of old I love you text messages, but you can keep a box of old love letters. Lenny, my darling, each day that passes now seems so long to me, because I'm getting so impatient. I reread your letters every chance I get. On the train, while I eat, while I sit down to rest. All the time. I always have 5 or 6 with me. I miss you at the noontide, dear. The crowded city street seems but a desert now. I walk in solitude complete. Beloved, I keep a date with you morning, evening, and all during the day. I look at your beautiful smiling picture and know how lucky I am to have you as my own. Darling, I'm so proud of your spirit and wouldn't trade you for anyone else. You have to mean what you say and say what you mean. While geographic distance between us increases every second, I feel your presence with me as vividly and as alertly as ever. Oh, Diana, Tina, Divina, how I do love you. My dearest, how beautifully you describe our love and how wonderful it makes me feel to read it. I miss your hand beside my own, the light touch of your hand, the quick gleam in the eyes of you, so sure to understand. It's Christmas Eve when loved ones should be together, so I want to spend a little time with you before I go to bed. All my love, and a hug from your daughter, Betty Lou. I eagerly await the latest achievements of Betty Lou and her mother. I miss you in the evening, dear, when daylight fades away. I miss the sheltering arms of you to rest me from the day. There's a heartfelt conviction behind a love letter that doesn't seem to exist anymore in the world of technology. Sometimes it's not about being quick with words. It's about meaning them. Dearest, I was wounded in action. I want this to get to you before the telegram. It took a 105mm gun on a German self-propelled tank to get to your husband. They're taking good care of me. All my love to my girls. Lenny, I love you, and that is all that matters. I try to think I see you yet, there where the firelight gleams. Weary at last I sleep, and still I miss you in my dreams. Dearest, all last night I dreamed of you, and I was so sorry to awaken this morning. Beloved, all the days between our last parting and our next meeting will be to me like as when one goes to sleep and arises again. There's no sense of anything in between. I've got a powerful desire to make this the last letter between us for a long, long time. I'll sign off with a special shower of kisses for no special reason at all. We should never, under any circumstance, underestimate the power of a love letter. In these tens of thousands of pages of love letters, Lenny and Diana Miller poured out their deepest feelings, and in the process left a remarkable portrait of 2 people full of hope for the future, in a world engulfed in fear and turmoil. Love letters are an art form. There's nothing more beautiful than a well-written love letter. It's time to bring back the art of the love letter.